All right, looks like we are live. We are live. We are live. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're tuning in from. It is really a pleasure to be able to have you. I think this is the first time that we're coming back as the African Queen since Easter break. Yes, and it's really nice to be able to be back together again with my lovely sisters here. So, viewers, you're so welcome. And wherever you are tuning in from, you know what? We will really be pleased if you told us in the chat section. Just drop a message where you are connecting from. Tell us, we want to know which part of the world you're watching us from. We will really be grateful for that. So we're just going to get going and we're going to introduce ourselves and just briefly share something that we've got on our hearts with you at this hour. For us, it's evening, so you're going to probably hear me referring to the time of the day, evening, but it's the internet and you can be here at any time of the day. So my name is Catherine. I am a child of God. I'm a radiographer by profession. I am a sister. I like to call myself an encourager. I believe that is what God has called me to do. And I am part of this amazing online digital online business. And it is really a privilege to be able to be here this evening, this hour, to share with my sisters. I'm going to get them to introduce themselves and then we're going to get into our topic. So yes, Sister Tony, please introduce yourself to our viewers.
I don't know if it's appropriate to say happy belated Easter celebration, but if it's appropriate, then happy Easter celebration, belated one. Really, it's always an amazing, time to talk with like-minded people who are doing business, we're doing great things together. Yes, you are welcome. My name is Tony. I run a digital business. I'm a proud owner of a successful digital business because it has changed my story. I'm a child of God, just like Sister Catherine introduced herself. Yes, I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm a daughter. Yes, I still have my mom. Shout out to her, 85, still kicking well. And tonight or this evening, I'm excited about the topic we will be talking about because it is really the story of my life. Keep watching. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I'm going to pass the baton on to Sister Mary.
Good evening, viewers. My name is Mary. I'm tuning in from United Kingdom, originally from Nigeria. And I'm a retired midwife by profession, and I'm a mom of 3. I'm a wife. And yes, I also own this online digital business, and I've been doing this since post-retirement, and I'm loving it. Thank you.
That's amazing. So sorry, viewers. My battery was running out and it was a quick emergency turnaround. Technology. We are all plugged in and hopefully we shouldn't run out of battery here. So, as Sister Tony introduced, today's topic, I think it's really at heart to me as well. And it is really business versus employment because today's day, we've got both in the world, but yeah, it's just really understanding some of the benefits that we could get from one and from the other, and how they can both kind of like help us to thrive in the things that we want to achieve in life. So, without wasting time, Sister Tony, I'm going to start from you. And I would like you to share just some insights on this, okay? So, what would you say? Do you want to have more time freedom, financial flexibility, or both?
What a deep question. And thank you, Six, for that question. So the general thing we're talking about tonight, we're comparing, when you are in a paid employment and when you're running your business. Both of them, they have elements of both. So you have some jobs that actually giving you, that financial capacity. When your salary lands, you know that, yes, you have been paid. You go to town, you pay your bills, you set up your investment. So some jobs actually give you that financial capacity, and some jobs do give you time flexibility. So some jobs, some people are lucky, they have flexibility of time, especially after COVID, when people can work from home, they can work from anywhere. So some paid employment do give you that. However, when you're running a business, it is guaranteed because you determine your time. You work on your time in your own time. So when you run a business, it gives you that time flexibility. You structure your business the way you want it. And for financial freedom or flexibility, of course, you get it. That is why you are an entrepreneur. You're taking a bigger risk and you're getting a bigger returns. Now, which one do you prefer? Honestly, I'm like Oliver Twist. I can have the best of both worlds. Yes. And that's the beauty of our business. You don't need to sack your boss yet. You don't need to leave your job yet. You can still be gainfully employed. And then you start your digital business, your online business, and you grow it. It's not a what do you call it now? It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's something you build. So you can have the benefits of both worlds. You have the time flexibility, yes, and then you have the financial capacity. But as you're working your 9 to 5, as you're in that paid employment, you're building something for yourself. You're building something in your name. I have been in both sides. I'm a chartered accountant, I'm a trained treasurer. I've managed, portfolios, and I've been paid salary. I enjoyed it while it lasted. I do not have time flexibility, incidentally, in my own case. In fact, that was one of the major reasons why I started looking for a side hustle. What can I do to give me time for my faith, to give me time for my family, to give me time for things that are important to me? So yes, you can get the benefit from both worlds. You can be working, you can as well be doing your backup business. But as time goes on, when you mature and you structure your business, you will see that you don't even need that 9 to 5 again, because that business, especially when you contact any one of us, and we become your mentor and your coach, you discover that the digital business can comfortably pay you salary much more than what you have in your paid employment, and at the same time give you the time flexibility. You can be traveling, the automation is working for you. You reach out to markets, global markets, more than your immediate environment. So to answer your question, Sister Katri, you can have best of both worlds. You have the time flexibility, you have financial flexibility, and then you can gradually transit, to you even retiring early. Thank you.
I really like the point that you have made there because, yes, some people think, oh, I have to stop one to do the other, but it's not the case. Just as Sister Tony has shared, you can keep your job. I love my job, for example, and like to work in healthcare as I do. But on the side, you can still be building something that is actually going to be yours if one day you decide that you want to do things slightly different with your employment. So thank you so much for sharing that insight. And I really want to hear, Sister Mary, your point of view as well, because you have got that privilege of being on retirement right now. So tell me, what is your biggest achievement post retirement?
Okay. Wow, wow, wow. Post retirement. Thank you so much for the opportunity, to share my experience so far. So, post retirement, what is my biggest what is my biggest achievement? I think one thing I think I've actually done well was the fact that I figured things out, well ahead of time. Because what I found even while I was still working was a lot of people they don't plan their retirement. So they wait until they are nearly, retirement age before they start thinking about, okay, what else, and then they now find themselves in this merry-go-round that they will just probably just have their send off done, and then they give themselves 2 weeks on holiday, and then they're back again the following month. And then you're thinking, what are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be home resting? And then they were like, well, there's nothing to do at home, I'm bored, so I'm coming back on a reduced hour. And I'm thinking, seriously? For me, did you actually take a little pause and think about retirement properly before retirement actually creep up on you? No. So a lot of people find themselves in this catch-24 situation that, they don't plan. And if you don't plan properly, either you plan to succeed or you plan to fail. So I just looked at it. I said to myself, no, I'm not going to find myself in that situation. So I kind of just started looking early, before I actually started thinking about, what month or what year I'm actually going to take that early retirement. So, and then in the process of me, working it out to find out exactly where am I going to be heading. Am I staying in the UK? Am I going back to Africa? Am I going to move to the US or Canada? So I was thinking, and I said to myself, so even if I do any of this, countries, what will I be doing? Am I going to go back and then start looking for something else? I said no. So let me start looking on the internet. So that was how I started searching for something I can do, something I know that will give me that time flexibility wherever I find myself, whether I'm in Toronto, I'm in America, I'm in Nigeria, I'm in Ghana, I can take the business with me. It's something that I can work unhindered, right? And something that will also give me pleasure. I'll find pleasure doing, not something that I'll do one month or 2 months, then I'm bored, I want to pack it up. So I started looking, and then I find this amazing business. And initially I wasn't too sure. I was a bit skeptical. I was a bit scared. I wasn't too sure what it's all about. But then two things or three things I was actually looking for is, number one, is there a proven system? Number two, is there a relatable result? Like, is there any result from any of this, anybody or anyone talking about this same business? Is there a proof to say that, once I start this business, is scalable and I can do a lot of things with it? So I was looking for all of those answers, and I found those answers in this business. And so that was what actually convinced me. And then to put the eyes on top of my cake, it was, or is it the cherry? Put the cherry on top of my cake was the fact that I found out also that it's legit, and also it's willable, and also on top of it, it pays you bonus and pension at the end of it all. So, and I said to myself, oh, on top of the pension I'm getting, so which means I can also earn pension doing this business. So all of those positive and pluses was what actually made this business a suitable one for me. And that was my greatest, I would say, achievement post, retirement, something that I've done or something that I've actually leveraged on. And since I've started this business, I've not looked back. And at the moment, I am enjoying it and I'm rocking it. So yeah, that is me. Thank you so much.
That's really beautiful. And thank you so much for sharing that. It really shows how it's important to really be intentional whilst we are working. And one thing that very often I hear in my workplace, people are thinking about retirement. Like they are working, but they're thinking of what they will get once they get on retirement. But then, as you said, very often I've seen people going on retirement and then they're coming back to work on the bank, or they're coming back to take extra hours because they just don't know what to do with the rest, with the time that they have gained now. But yeah, just thinking, just being that forward thinking and considering, okay, how sustainable do I want my retirement even age to be? But thinking of that even way before that retirement age comes really makes a difference. And I really like the example, and I like the journey that you have decided to take. It just shows that there is no limitation in this business. Like, you are your limitation. The limitation that you set is exactly what you have decided. So it's absolutely, everybody can do this, everybody can tap into it, everybody can start exactly from where they are, whether you are still in employment, you're thinking of going on retirement, or you're already in retirement. This is the place that you can get plugged in. I'm simply just going to share, and I think you ladies have shared so much, probably I shouldn't even add anything to this, but I'm just thinking for myself, like, yeah, and like if you're in employment, you do get a fixed salary, and at least at the end of the month, you know exactly how much you're getting. But for me, having something extra on the side, it just means that I'm not limited because I live far away from my family. I've got family living in London, some living in Italy. And sometimes you've got a fixed amount coming in and you finish paying your bills and there is no extra to do anything, especially when you're a single person like me. It looks like you're single and you've got all the money in the world, but that is absolutely not the truth. You've paid your bills and there's barely anything. And I want to be able to say, oh, I want to go visit my family in London next weekend. And I'm not looking at my wages to say, oh, I actually don't have enough to go visit them. And I feel like having something extra on the side that will allow me to have this, yeah, have the extra income coming in. I don't always have to depend on my one way salary to decide if I want to make an extra trip, if I want to make an extra trip a year to go visit my family, because unfortunately I cannot walk to London. I'll need to pay for the fare to go to London. Even for simple things like this, having something extra on the side, you may think it is nothing, but it does make a difference. Because to me, my family is number one, and life has taught me that time with them can never be replaced with anything else. So yeah, even if I can have some extra coming in, which means instead of doing 2 trips a year to see my family, I can increase that trips to be 3 or 4 trips a year. Trust me, I will definitely go for that. So thank you so much, ladies, for the insight that you have shared. And I really hope that our viewers today can take something from this and they can tap into this opportunity. So, as you're listening to us, if you feel like, oh, I'm curious, I want to know what these ladies are doing, I want to know how they confidently got into the digital space, please, by all means, you will get our links from the page where you are listening to this from. And get in touch. Asking a question does not cost you anything. So just get in touch, ask your questions, get your clarifications, make your due diligence, do your investigations yourself, but do not sit seated just thinking, oh, am I going to or am I not going to? Because opportunities are here, but till you don't tap into that opportunity, you would never know what you can benefit out of it. So I really hope our sharing today has encouraged you to take some steps towards the future that you really desire to have. So yeah, without saying any further ado, I'll say thank you all and God bless you for joining us at this hour. Thank you and catch you some other time. Bye bye,
Thank you.
viewers. Bye bye.
Bye.